Hello everyone, I'm DW and welcome back to Orcs Must Die. So this level we're introduced to the Spring Trap, which is a never not hilarious trap, but one that's never very useful. Basically we'll fling orcs off ledges or off into wherever, but does not work on larger enemies, at least not yet.
Twin Halls, one of the oldest of the Rift fortresses. The paladins say this place is haunted. I don't know about that, but sure could use a good dusting.
So this level has these two mirrored pathways. Of course we have a ledge up here where we can place archers or shoot at guys. We're not going to be doing that though. And these teleportation glyphs will just take you right back up onto this ledge. So at this point in the game, the levels start to be a bit more interesting. Levels before this were basically just tutorials, and while this level is still essentially just a tutorial, there's a lot of really cool ways in which you can solve it. So let's open our spellbook. You can see here we have a new enemy type, the Ogre. Ogres are really strong and very difficult to deal with. We have to be sure we don't want to get stunned by them. And fortunately, we're not going to have too many problems with them on this level. So let's get our load out. We're going to take the Shock Zapper, Archers, Spike Traps, Tar Traps, Arrow Walls, and of course the Spring Trap. So we're going to set up our kill box back under this archway over here. Going to get down some Archers. And then we're going to exploit a little glitch here with this archway, which is a very common archway that appears in multiple levels. We're going to set a Shock Zapper up there. Now, it's not too important to place a Shock Zapper there in this level, but in the later levels, particularly the next level, it really allows us to utilize ceiling traps in a place that we wouldn't otherwise be able to utilize them. So we're going to lay down some spring traps here, but now you'll notice that for this first wave, enemies are going to be coming out of the right lane, and we pretty much just beefed out the left lane. That's because the two waves after this, they're just going to be coming out of the left lane, and I want it to be ready. This first wave isn't too difficult either. Now, since we don't have a crowd-controlling item like the Wind Belt or Alchemist Satchel, we're really going to have to rely on getting headshots. At least until we have our kill boxes set up. So now we're going to run over and beef out this kill box a bit. Of course, we have this natural choke point here, so we're going to lay down some tar and some spike traps. So let's see these spring traps in action. You gotta love it. You can see that after they trigger, orcs will actually avoid walking on them. And what we want to do is we want to try and use the stun alternate on the crossbow to stun them on the spring trap. We're going to get one more down. And now they'll generally run across those spring traps. We have just enough, so why don't we get another spike trap down.
A treat for you.
So here we go. We stunned them right on the spring traps, but unfortunately spring traps take a relatively long time to reset, I find. And you can see my excellent skill with the stun right there. It's a little bit better.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
So now we have our first break wave. Now, this is when we're going to be introduced to our ogre friends, so why don't we beef up the kill box over here. I placed down these kill boxes pretty asymmetrically for now, but eventually they will be identical. So we're going to use this boom barrel just to help us with this ogre.
An ogre? That's Since when do orcs and ogres work together?
The general strategy for an ogre is to stun them and then get headshots on them. Boom barrels don't really do too much damage, but the shock zappers will just rip right through them.
Sweet!
Now we're going to have another one coming in on the other side. So we're going to set up a couple of... we're just going to set up the one shock zapper, because that's all we have the money for, and we'll get another archer. So here he comes. You can see here that ogres are not affected by the spring traps yet. Eventually we can get an upgrade too. And you gotta love that ragdoll. Oh man. So if an ogre attacks you, it will stun you, and if you're dealing with multiple ogres at the same time, that can lead into some chain stuns, which can be quite vicious. You also might have noticed that ogres drop coins when they die. I don't know exactly how much the single coin gives you, but I'm pretty sure it might actually vary from enemy to enemy. But generally, large enemies will drop coins when you kill them. So let's get down some more spike traps. Start to even out these kill boxes a bit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we don't even have any spring traps on this side yet. But that'll happen all in due time. Now, if I had set up some crossbow or some archers on here, the crossbow orcs will actually stop to shoot right about where the spring traps are set up. So, setting up archers up here is not a bad idea, especially when you have other archers down here to help deal with anybody who gets by. So we have a ton of money and a break wave, so let's make these kill boxes a bit more balanced. There's shock zappers up. And one last spring trap. So of course we want to be sure that we rotate it so that the spring trap is actually flinging guys in the right direction. Now our kill boxes are pretty much set up to the maximum, right? We're not going to really beast them out any more than this. There's a couple more things that we can do, but generally guys are not going to get through. So the fun thing about spring traps is sometimes enemies will collide with each other and then fall straight down. Unfortunately, I don't think you see any of that in this video.
Yes. Bye-bye, evil guys.
So let's put down some arrow walls. I'm actually not a big fan of where I put these arrow walls. I probably should have put them over the tar traps. Fortunately, next level we'll have a nice new shiny wall trap that will work much better in chokes, but until then, they'll have to do. You gotta love these spring traps. Unfortunately, they're not super useful on most levels, since they're only really useful if you're flinging guys into the void or into, acid here. But they get the job done on this level. So you may have noticed we're getting some decent combos. We're getting some 3x and 4x. Not super amazing, but pretty good. I have to remind you that score doesn't really matter too much. It doesn't give you any more coins or anything like that. It's mostly just for bragging rights. And since I don't really have that many friends that regularly play this game, or at any point had regularly played this game, that score doesn't really matter to me much. Probably should have stunned there, but whatever. Looks like we have a guy that's glitched out. There he is. I did before we can even shoot. So we're on the last wave, and you know what we could use more of? Archers. But ogres are going to be coming out of this next side, or this other side first, so why don't we set up some over here. We're going to stun that ogre, get over here so that we can get down 2 more archers. Probably not necessary, but still. Want to stun that guy so our archers can take care of him. And the shock zappers will just eat right through them. How about the other side? Yeah, he's already down. And now we can pretty much just sit back and let our kill boxes take care of these guys. I try and stun these guys on the spring traps, but we pretty much got this one in the bag. There we go. So we got our 5 skulls. Got a pretty decent score. Not the best, but certainly not awful. We absolutely demolished the par time. Did it in just over 8 minutes. Let's take a look at our leaderboards. Rank 10,000, not bad. Not the best, obviously, but still, it's not bad. Not bad for just a main playthrough. Anyway, I've been DW. Thanks for watching.